First part of foam rolling, we're going to start with our back. We start on our low back and roll all the way up to our shoulder blades and back down. We're going to get about 5 reps total. And then what we're going to do is pause on any spot that feels extra tight. If it hurts pretty bad, that's the spot we need to sit on, and we want to stay on that spot for about 30 seconds. As you see here, I'm kind of working out those kinks right on my low back right there. And that's your back. Moving on from our low back, we're going to work on our shoulder mobility. So you're going to have the foam roller vertically on your spine from your head to your tailbone. And now you're going to keep your palms up to the sky, keeping your fingertips touching on the ground, and try to bring your hands together at the very top, keeping your arms straight the whole time. Make sure you keep those arms straight. This is really going to open up your chest. This is great for people who work at a desk job or in the car for a long period of time. It's going to really open up your chest cavity and make those joints feel great. Also loosen up your shoulders as well. About 10 reps here. Remember, keeping those hands to the sky, fingertips on the ground the whole time. Now we're going to roll out our glutes. This is key for anyone who has any low back pain. What we're going to do here is get right in between basically your tailbone and your hip. So you want to have a small little range of motion here, about 5 to 10 reps, and you once again sit on the spot that really hurts. You're going to get both sides and you cross your leg over like that to kind of open up your hips and get a better angle in order to get that glute medius, or the inner muscle that's in your glutes. Remember, getting both sides, cross that leg over, open up the angle, and you're always going to lean to the leg that is up, and that's going to open up that angle of your muscles. Remember, not right in the middle, not down your hamstring, and definitely not up onto your low back and hip area. And you're going to find a sweet spot. It's probably going to hurt pretty bad, but that's the spot you need to focus on, because that's going to relieve that muscle tension. To stick on any spot that hurts, you need to do this for about 30 seconds. It's going to take a little bit longer in the beginning, but you'll get better at it over time. Next up, we got our TFL. So this is located right above the ball joint of your hip, but below your pelvis. It's a tiny little area. It's going to be a small little range of motion. I cross my left leg over my right in order to get the angle better, also get a little more leverage on that. It's a small, tiny little movement. You want to rock your hips back and forth and also left to right. If you wanted to get this a little bit more accentuated, you can get a tennis ball or a softball, and that really digs in there. Remember, it's right above the ball joint in your hip. Really going to help you loosen up your hips and alleviate any low back pain that you might have as well. And remember, I cross my right leg over my left in order to get a little more leverage and a better angle. Then I have my elbow on the ground in the side plank position. And now we have the culprit of all culprits, the IT band, or the iliotibial band. This is a tendon that runs from your knee, connects in the front of your knee, and runs all the way up into your hip joint. And this is what causes many people knee pain and also low back pain. So this is one of the most sensitive areas to foam roll. This is probably going to suck really bad the first couple times you do this, but I promise the more you do it, the better it's going to feel. So I started with my right leg crossed over my left to relieve a little bit of the tension, and now I'm stacking my feet to put some more body weight onto that IT band. As I find a spot that hurts really badly, I will stop on that spot. Remember, you need to stay there about 30 seconds each. The more you do this, the better you're going to get at this. It's going to be pretty awful the first few times, but then it's going to really improve, and then you're able to just maintain what you've gained and what you need to work on. So crossing my leg over is kind of the beginner's range, and stacking your feet is definitely the more advanced side of the foam rolling. When I first started this, I couldn't even do this, but over time, and as I've been consistent with it, it's become quite easy and it feels good now. And like I said, this is key for anyone who has knee pain or low back pain. Getting the hamstrings now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the foam roller all the way over to the right so that only my right leg is on there. So my butt is up off the ground, both hands on the ground, and my left foot is flat on the ground. I'm gonna roll from my butt cheek all the way down to the back of my knee. Nice and slow, remembering to stop on any points that hurt and to let those spots relax. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my foot out, getting a couple more passes, and then turn it in to get those inner hamstrings, but also the outer ones as well, because you have 3 different hamstrings you must do. Now I get the other side, same exact thing, butt up off the ground, right foot flat on the ground, going from the back of my knee all the way up to my butt cheek. And then I turn my toe out and then turn it in order to get that inner and outer hamstring. Now we have our hip flexors. So right where your upper leg connects into your torso, that's where we're going to stay. It's going to be a small movement again, kind of like the TFL, but now it's in the front of our body. So you're going to find a spot that really hurts. Remember to stay on that spot about 30 seconds until you feel that muscle relax. And remember, I have to get both sides right up in that hip joint in the crease of my hip there. That's where we're going to get that. My right leg is off the ground so that all the pressure is just on my left hip flexor. And then I slide the foam roll all the way over to the left so that only my left hip flexor is getting the work right now. Moving on from our hip flexors, we have our quads now. So I'm going to get all the way from my hip flexor down to my knee. So this is probably going to be tight on a lot of people, especially if you have low back pain because you sit at a desk or in the car quite a bit. So just like the hamstring, this is the inverse of that. I want to turn my toe in and turn my toe out, coming all the way from my knee up to my hip. And of course, I got to get both sides. Don't want to be running around in circles. We have to be nice and balanced. So remember, I turn that toe in and I turn that toe out to get all the different muscle fibers of my quads. All right, now we have to get our inner thigh or our adductor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the foam roller vertically now, running it parallel to my spine. My left leg is up off the ground, so my left toe is just on the ground, and my right leg is at a 90-degree angle. So what I'm going to do is going to get my inner thigh here, running from my knee all the way up to my groin, remembering to stay on any spot that hurts for about 30 seconds. Remember, keep that leg at a 90-degree angle and get all those kinks out. In the beginning, it's going to take a little bit longer to work those kinks out, but over time, you're just going to get a lot better at that. Obviously, we have to switch to the other side as well. Just reverse that. Now my left leg is at a 90-degree angle, going from my knee all the way up to my groin. Remember, stop on a spot that hurts. Take your time with this. You don't have to rush through this. You can do this multiple times throughout the day. And last but not least, we have to get our calves or lower legs. So kind of like the hamstrings, we're going to have just my left foot on the ground and my hands. My butt is up off the ground. And I'm going to roll my calves out, keeping my right leg straight, coming from my Achilles tendon all the way up to the back of my knee. Just like the hamstrings, I turn my toe out to get that outer hamstring. Remember, stop on a spot that hurts in order to work that kink out. And then I turn my toe in to get my inner calf as well. Take your time with this. I'm going a little bit quicker here just for the sake of demonstration, but you must take time to do this, especially when you're first starting out. Remember, stay on those spots that hurt. I'm going to get 5 to 10 reps minimum of each. Turn that toe in and turn that toe out to get all those different angles. This one should feel pretty good. Remember, going from my Achilles tendon all the way up to the back of my knee. Take your time, and remember, you can do this multiple times throughout the day. This is just as good as stretching, but you can overstretch sometimes. You cannot foam roll too much. That's foam rolling for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out my website for more info. I hope you really benefited from this. This is an amazing part that everyone needs to incorporate into their fitness regimen.